Hello, and thank you very much for joining me today. I've got a nice layered card today. This is day 3 of the 31 Days Craft Challenge as set by Scrimping Mummy on her YouTube channel. Please go and check that out and have a look at the challenge that she's doing. So this is day 3, and I've decided to use some designer series paper that I got from the Saleabration catalogue. So as part of my pre-order, which is what I can do as a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I earned a level 1 reward. So out of the Saleabration catalogue, it's so nice that I can show you this now. From the Saleabration catalogue, I then decided to go for the Golden Honey designer series paper. You can have a look at that. That's just got white, black and gold in it. It's absolutely stunning, and it's got the theme of the bees running all the way through it. So 6 separate designs, it's 12 separate designs, 2 sheets of each, and they're double-sided. And then I use some gold foil, some black cardstock, grey cardstock, and then I've just stamped on the white, and I'll show you the stamp set that I used for that in a second. So very simple. You know, if you've never made a card before, you can make this quite easily, and you don't necessarily have to have all of the equipment that I'm going to use here. You can, as you're still maybe trying to build up your collection of equipment, then you could easily draw around something round for these. Anyway, so the first thing I started off with is a piece of, this is smoky slate, but there are different greys, and you can use any colour combination you like. You can use any designer series paper that you like. I've just chosen to use this one because I like that kind of monochrome look. So this measures 8 inches by 6 inches, and then I've scored right down the middle of the 8-inch side at 4 inches, and then created a 6x4 card. Now I took that from a 12x12 piece of cardstock. So I had 2 bits of paper, 2 bits of card. So what I did is I cut that out of a 12x12 sheet of cardstock, and then I was left with this piece here, which measures 12x4. So I'm actually going to make a card like that. Anyway, let's put that to one side. And then I took a piece of this basic black cardstock. All of these measurements are on my blog. I'll leave a link for that in the description bar below. So the black cardstock on here is 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. And then I just stuck that on there. I've already stuck that because I started this video once before, and then it went wrong when I cut out my gold foil in the wrong measurements. So that then creates a nice frame around that black, and anything with monochrome, I think grey goes really nice with it. The other colour that I like to put with black, white and grey is red, but this time I'm going to put gold on there. So that's my basic layering there. Now the other thing I've got to do is I've got some gold foil here, and that gold foil measures 5 5/8. So this is why I went wrong. So I wrote down the wrong measurements. 5 5/8 by 2 1/4, and that's just going to sit there like that. So I'm going to get some Tombow. I prefer to use wet glue for something like this so that I can get it into position properly. This layering technique is ideal for cards. It just makes them a little bit more 3-dimensional. No rule as to where you're going to put that. You could put it right over in the side, you could put it in the middle, whatever you want. Doesn't matter. I'm also going to leave in the description bar a link to the video that I did showing you what's in the catalogue. So if you're looking at some of the other things that are in the catalogue, sorry about that light on that gold. I'm not having a lot of luck with light today. Right, just had to sort my light out there. As soon as I put something on here that's light reflective, then my light goes a bit funny, as it's doing now. As soon as I cover that up, it should be fine. So what I'm going to do is then put my designer series paper on top of that foil. That's got a nice stripy design on the back. I try not to craft with stripes, just because my eyes go funny. And we're just going to put that right in the middle of that. So again, we've got that frame, and that just gives that nice layered look. And the great thing about wet glue is you can wiggle it about a bit. So while that's drying, we then need to create some circles. So we've got those layers there. I've got a little splodge of glue there. And when that's dried off a bit, and I'll just wipe that. So I need some circles. So I've got a 2¼ inch punch, circle punch, and I'm going to cut out some black. So that's with the 2¼ I'm then going to get the gold, which I've got over here somewhere, and I'm going to take my 2-inch punch. Let's turn that round before the light on my camera goes a bit doolally. And so that's the 2-inch. That's going to form a layer like that. That's the great thing about punches, just get an instant shape. Now we'll punch out the white, but before we do that, I want to put a stamp on it. And I'm going to use this stamp set, and this is Beautiful Moments, and all I'm going to do is just be using that sentiment, but I'm going to create some cards using some different techniques. So using the Stampin' blends, using watercolours, and then I'm also going to be doing some other techniques as well. I think that's lovely. I've got 2 daughters, they're grown up now, but that just reminds me of them when we used to go to the seaside together. So I'm using this one, Thinking of You. So I've got that loaded up on a block that's way too big for the stamp, but I couldn't find my smaller stamps. I've been having a clear out recently, and I've mislaid a couple of things. Now I need some black ink for that. You could do it in gold if you wanted to. You could heat emboss it. Entirely up to you. I'm just going for the quick effect. So stamp that onto Whisper White cardstock. Let's get the lid on that ink before we have an accident with it. And I'm going to get my 1 3/4 inch punch. And then I'll start layering these. So I'm just going to put the gold straight on top of the black with Tombow. I really am at the end of this glue. I won't open another one yet because I'm quite tight. I don't want to waste any. So we'll put the gold on the black like that. And then I'm going to use mini dimensionals to put the white disc on top of the gold. So just have 2 of those, doesn't need any more than 2. I never understand why people put half a dozen dimensionals on that. But that's just preference. And then I'm just going to stick that on there, and then that gives it a little bit of height. Get my card back now, which should be fully dry of glue. And then I'm going to put that there, and I'm not going to raise that anymore. That's got enough height on it. I'm just going to get some wet glue again. Get it the right way round. And then decide where you're going to put it. You might want to put it up there, you might want to put it down there, you might want to put it on top of there. I'm going to put it in the middle and just to the right a bit. Make sure that I've got that straight, because I think on the last one I made it wasn't quite straight. And there we are. A really, really simple card. And you can use that layering technique for any cards, whether you had a landscape orientation or a portrait orientation. Just layer it up as much as you want to. I was going to put an embossing folder over the black, but I then felt that that was just a little bit too much. It doesn't really work on black, but you can play about with that as much as you like. Ideal for a beginner card maker. So I hope that you like that. And as I said, the measurements and everything and all the products that I've used are going to be in the description bar below. And I'll also put in there a link to the catalogue unveiling, also in the description bar, so you can have a look at that. Thank you ever so much, and I will see you all again soon. Bye bye.